Okay, so here we are. Now that we're done our draw filing, we have this set of plans, okay? And you can see our measurements. So 1 inch from the end, we need to come in and we need to make a horizontal mark across our piece of metal. And then from the back side, we need to come in a 1/2 inch. Whoops, sorry, I was looking over the top. So we need to come in, that's a 1/2 inch, come in a 1/2 inch and make a horizontal line. And then we also need to scribe a center line right through the middle of our thing. Okay, and then we're eventually going to get to this point where this becomes a hole. This is our hole, and then we're going to draw out some lines in here that we're going to cut out with our hacksaw, and eventually we'll have something like this. You'll have a little keychain hole. We are going to stamp into it your name or Happy Father's Day or something that you want there, or to Grandpa, and then we're going to file the rest of this out and smooth it all up. Okay, so this is our first step. So we need a 1/2 inch from the end in and 1 inch from the other end in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of metal here, okay, and I don't have any, but there's layout fluid. But basically layout fluid is a Sharpie just in like a dauber form. So you have this big I don't know what they call it, like Q-tip almost, a big Q-tip of this fluid that you just paint onto the surface, and then you can make scratches. In our case, I'm just going to take this Sharpie here, and I'm just going to Sharpie close to where a 1/2 inch should be on that side, and on this side I'm going to give myself some Sharpie close to where I think 1 inch should be. Okay, so that's what I got. Then what I'm going to do is to scribe these lines. You can use a set of calipers. This is a digital set, but these jaws here are hardened so that they actually make scratches in the metal. So you could use a set of these for this particular thing, or you could also use a set of dividers. So dividers like this you could find in any of your protractor kits that you bought, and what I'm going to do is just set the distance on these points. So I'll take my tape measure here, and this one in particular, if you spin the wheel here, makes it wider or narrower. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. So if I bring it back, I'm going to set that point on my 3 inch and bring the other point till it's sitting on my 2 inch. So right there, I know that that is exactly 1 inch. So what I'm going to do is take my piece of metal, put the tip of my dividers on the outside of the metal, and then draw a line across. And you can see, if the light catches it, that it has made a nice perfect straight line for us right there. Okay, so then again, I'm going to take my dividers, and this time I'm going to set it to 1/2 inch. So if I set, if I set my point there and bring it all the way into a 1/2 inch. Oh, and this set of dividers doesn't actually, I've bottomed out the screw. So this set of dividers doesn't even go down that small. No worries. We'll use our set of, so this one is actually, oops, where am I? Here we go. Right there. Looks like in 1/2 inch. So I'm going to lock that in place using this little thumb screw. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to set the edge there and draw a line. And we can see, if I get the light right, a nice line drawn in the blue. Okay, then the last thing we need to do is the center mark. So this is just over an inch. Honestly, it doesn't really matter that much. I'm going to leave this set at a 1/2 inch and scribe a line. Oops. Across. Okay, so you can see that line. And again, scribe a line across. Okay, so now you can see, if I catch the right light just right, you can see where that X meets. Same thing here. You can see where the X meets. Now the next part that I'm going to do is I'm going to get a center punch and a hammer, and I'm going to put a divot right in the middle of those X's so that our drill bit has somewhere to center itself on. So let's do that.